Hello, my friends, and welcome to Tastes from the Road, the show where I cook my favorite dishes I found from my travels around the world. Today we head to Central Europe and the land of the Magyars to explore their peppery paprika chicken stew called Paprikash. Chicken Paprikash, or in Hungary's unpronounceable language, Paprikash, probably, sorry for that, is really the epitome of Hungarian cuisine. Besides goulash, of course, and is probably one of its most famous dishes, relying heavily on Hungary's most famous ingredient, the deep red soul of the nation, paprika. Hungarian paprika is world-renowned for its richness, its smoky and savory notes that add a kick to any dish, and today we will use a whole heck of a lot of it. You can go for the sweet version or the spicy version for this dish, but I use a blend of both. It's up to you. You're the captain of your own ship, of course. So, for this dish, we need some nice chicken thighs, skin on for better flavor down the line, of course. Some good paprika, doesn't have to be Hungarian, but if it is, you're a rock star. Next up is the sour cream for that tartness and richness the sauce craves, followed by our flavor enhancers, the humble onion, a couple of tomatoes, garlic, salt and pepper, and flour as a binder. To start off this stew, we need to finely chop a medium onion. Next, we will quick chop a tomato into nice chunks. These all break down into the sauce, so size doesn't matter here. Lastly, take a couple of garlic cloves and give it a nice fine chop. In any dish from this Central European region, these are going to be vital flavors. There's really harsh winters out here, so they can't grow much. And that's the prep. We're going to head over to the stovetop and get this stew rolling. Into a warm pan, add your butter. Don't put cold butter into a ripping hot pan like I did, or you will burn it faster than the Huns ripped across Europe in the 1200s. Once your butter is melted, it's time to add your chicken to brown up the skin a bit, and more importantly, develop a nice fond at the bottom of the pan. Fond is pure flavor, and every bit of that will make your stew even better. Once the chicken is nice and brown, remove it from the pot and set it to the side. It shouldn't be cooked through, so don't worry about the pinkness for now. Next up, into that chicken fat and butter, we toss our onions and brown it for a few minutes, making sure to stir and get all that fond off the bottom of the pan and into our onions. Next, you go in with the garlic, give it a bit of a stir, and then go in with the tomatoes. You only need to cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes more, or until everything starts to break down into itself. Now, you're ready for the Hungarian punch this dish truly needs. A truckload of good paprika. Make sure to take your pan off the stove because paprika has a tendency to scorch and get bitter. Sprinkle in your way too much paprika and give it a nice stir. Don't forget to add a little bit of extra pepper, your salt, and give it a nice stir again. Now from here, the process is simple. Arrange your chicken on top and return it back to the stove, and then cover in water or chicken broth just until everything is covered. I added chicken bouillon powder in lieu of the chicken stock that I forgot to buy. Once you're all stirred up, it's now time to put your stovetop to simmer, close that bad boy up, and let it bubble for 40 minutes or so. While your pot is stewing away, you can make your sauce binder, which gives this recipe a rich, creamy finish. Just take about 3/4 of a cup of sour cream and mix in 4 tablespoons of flour. This isn't exactly traditional, as all regions of Hungary have their own take. Some like to spoon sour cream on top after the dish is finished. This version goes for a thicker and richer sauce, something I prefer a little bit more, in my opinion. Just make sure to give this a hefty stir to avoid flour lumps in your final product. All right, the 40 minutes is over, and now it's finishing moves time. Take out your tender chicken and put it to the side. Take your sour cream flour mixture and start to incorporate it into the sauce, and heat until the sauce becomes thick and rich and cohesive. Maybe 5 to 6 minutes. You'll see when it tightens up. Now it's time to plate up. I've got some small oven roasted potatoes here, and we're going to take a nice piece of tender chicken and plate it above. Next up, ladle a healthy amount of the sauce. There's never too much sauce. And top it with a bit of parsley for color, and voila. You've made a killer chicken paprikash. I mean, come on, doesn't that look absurdly good? I hope I did the Magyars proud with this one. So, we did it! Chicken paprikash, one of the dishes that reminds me the most of Hungary. This is actually an adapted recipe from my great aunt who actually escaped the Nazis in Hungary and moved to the United States in the mid-1940s. The chicken should be tender, the sauce should be nice and floral with lots of that paprika, Depends if you like the spicy or the sweet paprika. I did a little blend of both, and it's really served typically with like a spätzle, which is like a thin noodle from the central part of Europe, but I did mine with nice roasted potatoes. So, egészségedre. That's cheers in Hungarian. The chicken's nice and tender. The sauce has a nice paprika background, but it's not too peppery, and it's a great dish for a cold day.